If there's one thing I love, it's a good schedule. This is the schedule that changed my life and made me dramatically more productive. In it, we're gonna cover two things. First of all, what the schedule is, now that I'm a surgeon dropout, and second, what are the principles behind the schedule so that you can apply the same things to your own life. What's going on, guys? For those of you who are new here, my name is Kevin Jubbal, former plastic surgery resident and current physician entrepreneur. Now this is my daily schedule. I created this in Google Sheets and I screenshotted it to keep on my computer and on my phone for quick, easy reference. And this is only for weekdays, so Monday through Friday, because I don't want to be too structured and too scheduled on the weekends. I want to just go with the flow. I think that too much structure is actually a bad thing, which is something I've learned the hard way. On weekdays, I'll generally wake up around 6:30. I do sleep with blackout curtains in my room because having a pitch black room is obviously better for sleep, but I still want to wake up with natural light or something simulating natural light. So I have Philips Hue smart lights across my whole bedroom, actually across my whole apartment, and I use those to slowly get brighter in the morning, simulating an actual sunrise. Now, the first thing I do upon getting up is using the bathroom, strong orthocollic reflex, and doing other important things, my custom 10-minute stretching routine, my journaling routine that I have a custom template for as well, doing some meditation. It's important to note that during this time, I'm not checking emails, I'm not checking social media, I'm not looking at the news. I don't want to start my day on a reactive note. So I'm either reading my Kindle, or if I'm on my phone, I'm listening to a podcast instead. And you can check out my full morning routine in this other video. Now, the key point here is how you start the day sets the tone for the rest of the day. And as humans, we are creatures of habit. But the unfortunate thing is that we often fall into these habits and routines rather than deliberately choosing them. Now, I've crafted my morning routine around three main things. First, minimizing stress and avoiding reactiveness. Second, making my body feel good for the rest of the day, primarily with stretching. And third, building small wins that can snowball into larger wins. Next, I do a focused work block from about 7:30 to 10:30, maybe 11. And the reason being that I'm optimizing this for my chronotype and my energy state and alertness levels. And for that reason, it's best for me to do this more difficult, challenging work in the morning. This can be designing new systems for med school insiders to ensure high quality, or doing research on new YouTube videos and writing scripts. Back a few months ago, we were creating actual flashcards and the content for MEM, the MCAT tool, and that was extremely mentally challenging and it required a lot of focus. So this challenging work is best done in the mornings for me. The key point here is you want to optimize your work for how you feel moment to moment. Generally speaking, you're going to feel really good either in the mornings or in the evenings later in the day. Currently, I feel great in the mornings and I've felt that way for several years. Usually, if you're an adolescent or in your early 20s, then you may have a later chronotype, meaning that you don't feel so good in the morning. And it may be better for you to do this focused work later on in the day. After 3 hours of doing this, focus is waning, so it's time to take a break. I'll take my phone, take it off of airplane mode or do not disturb mode, check Instagram, check my emails, I'll head to the kitchen, start preparing breakfast. And my breakfast isn't usually really that noteworthy. I want to focus on a good, healthy, clean protein and also a lot of greens, which usually translates to eggs, maybe some smoked salmon with those eggs, and a big salad of mixed things. And if I do have dressing, want to keep it lower calorie. If I'm having GI distress because of my inflammatory bowel disease, then I may avoid solid food altogether and then go with a liquid diet instead. So making a big smoothie, for example. I've been doing time restricted feeding for some time, usually 16-8 or 18-6, but I've also been experimenting with OMAD, or 1 meal a day, and I'll just completely skip breakfast and then only eat later in the day for dinner. After cleaning up, I'm gonna hop into my gym clothes, get my gym bag, drive over to the gym, and then start my warm-up routine. This gives me enough time to digest, because if I'm having a really intense workout with a full stomach, that doesn't feel good. And the key thing here is I give myself a lot of time. So 2 hours just to drive to the gym, warm up, workout, get a sauna session in, and then drive back. I used to try to rush this and then it wouldn't be as good of an experience. Right now with the whole pandemic, the sauna is closed, but normally this is something I would do right after a workout. Now the key point here is that, again, I'm paying attention to how I feel during various moments in the day. And at this time, I usually have a slump in energy. For that reason, it's great to go get a workout in instead to kind of amp things up a little bit. And if I do need to do work, then I can do something that requires less focus. So coming back now, it's around 2 p.m. I'm not feeling as sharp, I'm not feeling as focused, right? So this is a good time for me to do administrative work, doing things that don't require me to be super sharp or focused or creative. Doing things like emails or phone calls is better suited. After a few hours of doing this, notice the theme, work for a couple hours, take a break, work for a couple hours, take a break. So now around 5 p.m. or so, I'll slow down, I'll go chat with the roommates, I'll do some foam rolling, which feels so good, or I'll do laundry, do some errands, or kick up the VR system and do some sim racing. Dinner time usually starts around 6, maybe 7. This has normally been eating out, but since COVID, I started cooking a lot more, and nowadays my girlfriend actually cooks a lot. But on weekdays, I try to make this relatively quick so that I can get back to work. You know, an hour or so later, maybe 7:30 or 8, I'm back to work, and now I'm doing creative work because at this time, I feel a burst of energy in the evenings for some reason, and I find that my creative juices are really flowing. So this is the best time to think of new ideas, maybe plan out a new video on this channel. At 9 p.m. I start my wind down routine. And what I used to do is have these Philips Hue smart lights flash to remind me, hey, time to put the work away and wind down. But I could sometimes miss that cue. So what I've done instead is now have the lights just turn red, both in the living room and in the bedroom at 9 p.m. When I see the lights turn red, I'll quickly wrap up what I'm doing on my computer, then go shower, brush, do all that stuff. I also do a evening journaling template, which includes reflecting on the 3 lessons I learned that day, 3 amazing things that happened, and how today could have been better. The key point here is to offload and automate things whenever possible. Rather than having to remember, oh, it's 9 p.m. and keep looking at my watch, I can just have the systems remind me with these cues. Around 9:30 or 10, I stop using backlit devices. So my phone is charging on the other end of the room, my iPad and computer are put away, they're charging. The only thing I have on my nightstand is my Kindle. And if I do use my Kindle at night, it's gonna be at the lowest brightness. The other thing is, of course, my Oura Ring, which I use for tracking my sleep. I don't actually set an alarm with my phone. I use my Google Home to set an alarm if necessary. But again, normally these days, I just wake up with the Philips Hue simulated sunrise. When I get tired of reading, which is normally 20, 30 minutes later, depending on how compelling the book is, I tell Google to turn off the lights and I'm off to sleep. And that's my daily routine. That's what's worked best for me. And again, this is only on weekdays. On the weekends, I purposely let loose. The schedule optimizes productivity, but doesn't overdo it. To me, this is a more sustainable and balanced way of approaching the day where on one hand, I feel good about getting work done, but on the other hand, I can also enjoy the journey. Hope that video was helpful and that it helps you put some deliberate thought into your own daily schedule. If you enjoyed this video, check out my 2 morning routine videos. Much love, and I'll see you guys there.